going to send a text to my friendos. Hey, how's it going, Andrew? Thanks for joining. I'm just getting started, getting the word out. All right. Oh yeah, I meant to put up an image to become the thumbnail after sitting for a second, because this is how I'm feeling today. Word. Okay. Yeah, so gonna stall for a bit. Classic streamer fashion, trying to make a name for myself. All the pros gotta say they start at a certain time, but actually not, right? That's how it works. Yeah, so feeling a little bit under the weather today, so we'll see. I'm shooting for to try and make like an hour stream. Maybe we'll go longer, maybe go shorter. This will actually be my first time producing live. Like, I've produced in front of friends and stuff, and in Discord and stuff, but I've done breakdowns and things like that, but not necessarily making music live. So we'll see how it goes. I wanted to try it out because when I'm producing by myself, like not with a friend present, like a collaborator, I tend to kind of get caught up in details a lot faster than I'd like to. And with an audience or someone kind of observing, it kind of helps me hold myself accountable and be like, all right, am I too in the weeds right now? Is this like, boring? The collaborator, like, should I be focused on something more important? So I find that super useful. That helps me be a lot more productive. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to experiment with today. I have a work in progress in mind that I want to open up and chip away at. At the very least, I want to organize the project file because I worked on it a good bit last night, but got a little bit burnt out on the idea. So after I organize the project file and take some notes, I might pivot to a different work in progress. But yeah, that's something I want to try and do, is like work on a couple different projects in one session, because I kind of have the tendency to like go put my blinders on and then just like brute force working on one song. And one thing that I want to be able to do better at is be able to kind of get into the flow state faster and have the ability to kind of switch between things, kind of not be so attached to what I'm working on. Because I never really thought about things in that manner until I saw, tuned in for Amanu producing a track live. And he was basically like, swapping between project files and projects pretty quickly. And I was like, whoa, I guess you can actually kind of do that. And it was really cool because it was kind of like, okay, I'm not feeling this track right now. Like, after 2 minutes of opening a work in progress, dude just closed it out and moved on to the other thing. Meanwhile, I'm sure a lot of people kind of identify with assigning a lot of value to like tangible progress on a track. And so it can feel kind of bad to like open up a song you're working on, take a listen and be like, I'm not feeling where this is right now, and then just let that go. I kind of have the tendency to be like, well, I don't like where this is, so I want to put in work to make it sound better. But usually when you're not feeling working on a track, that's when you have the least amount of fun, and often you're the least productive. So yeah, just yapping. Probably yap for a couple more minutes. So yeah, how's everybody's week been so far for those of you tuning in. Hope it's been good. It's still really cold up here outside Boston. We still got a lot of snow on the ground, but the ice is kind of going away, which is nice. I tried to go for a walk earlier this week, but there was still a good bit of ice, and not everybody's sidewalks are clear, so it was a good bit of just walking on the road. It was doable, and it was like in the 30s, so it was like, okay, that's kind of my temperature where I feel like, okay, I can comfortably go for a walk and not just be miserable in the cold, as if it's like in the high 20s, low 30s. Oh, nice. That sounds great, Andrew. What did you use? Did you do it in like a crock pot? I haven't had too much experience cooking meats. I've actually been mostly kind of cooking for myself, a lot of vegetarian stuff. I've tried to do like ribs in an Instant Pot, and that is pretty good. But when I tried to do it like once or twice, I went to like 2 different grocery stores, and they just didn't have ribs, and I don't remember what they gave me as an alternative. Like, this is the best you're gonna get in this area. So maybe it's more of a southern thing. Northerners up here, not much of barbecue. Period. Like, not even chains. There's like 1 or 2 or 3 local spots, maybe within like a half-hour radius of me, which is crazy considering how big and populated the Boston area is. Cool. That sounds really good, Andrew. Um, there's this YouTube video I watched recently, and I'm sure you probably heard of it or seen it, but there's this guy who was kind of trying to figure out how close can you get to like an authentic barbecue taste, texture, experience of cooking ribs, but just using your oven. And it seemed like it actually, it was not really comparable, but like everyone that tried it was like, oh, yeah, I know that this isn't the real deal, but they're like, wait, you made this in an oven, So that might be cool to try and do sometime. I know that Anna, my sister, I got her and her boyfriend an Instant Pot for Christmas. So I'm sure they've been probably making some stuff. Her boyfriend, James, same name as me, is a pretty prolific cooker. So hopefully they've put it to good use. Yeah, option is great. Like, I'm lucky in that there is a barbecue place that is like 2 or 3 minutes down the road from me, but it is really bad. It is a chain, but every time I've had it, it's been so dry. And like, I really love brisket, and I got brisket, and it just was like so dry. It was just kind of like the experience of eating like sandwich meat. It felt like, and I was like, come on, like, really disappointing. There's like a good spot that's maybe like 20 minutes away, but it's just far enough and closer to the city that it's inconvenient to park and go to. But I can't complain too much because we have so many other amazing food options. It's just like barbecue is the one sort of cuisine that there's like barely any options in this area. Southern food in general, like there's 1 or 2 like Southern food places, but luckily I don't crave it that much. Barbecue, yeah, it's hard to live without. All right, I've been yapping for a bit, so I think it's time to start making some music. Oh yeah. what's up? Not Courtney. Yeah, there's a great place next to Courtney's house that is kind of like a little bit of a hole in the wall sort of walk up spot that actually has really great barbecue. Unfortunately, that is like an hour away from me, but I'm frequently at Court's place, and it's been a while since we've been, but it's really great. It's the real deal. Although I do think they raised their prices last time since we'd been, but it's like, if I'm getting barbecue and it's good up here where it's slim pickings, I'll pay the extra money for it. And it's local, so support your local businesses. Word. Okay, I'm gonna open up project file and kind of talk you through my process of working on a track while I work on it. We're gonna see if we're gonna have any CPU issues. The track is kind of earlier on in the creation process, so hopefully we shouldn't. We will find out. Hovering around 30%, should be good. So I'm gonna do something insane and switch to my AirPods for audio for me. And you may be like, why is that insane? Well, it's insane because, most people love producing on their monitors or headphones that are like nicer. But when I'm trying to do something creative and force myself to be in the creative headspace, I don't want to focus on the really minute details. I want to focus on the broad strokes. And so to force myself to do that, I don't listen on my monitors and I don't listen on my headphones. So that way I just can't hear those details. So I'll produce on my AirPods instead. And it is also a lot more comfortable. I love my Audio Technicas, but they aren't really the most comfortable things to wear if you're working on music for an extended period of time. Okay, so what I'm going to do is start out by edging everybody, not by, yo, how's it going? Thanks for the raid, Case. Appreciate you. A lot of respect. Thank you so much. Yeah, everyone joined in at an amazing time where I'm about to share work in progress. That is not amazing. So you can enjoy my work in progress. I'll play it out, and I'm basically at a point where I'm going to start organize this project file. Yeah, slow down, guys. Don't overwhelm like my cousin and my girlfriend. We're like the two people in chat before everyone else. All right, let's go. You want me. Again, things are kind of in a rough state. It's a skeleton. But that's why we're here. Work on music. You didn't feel your body. You love me, you want me. Lay it all on me. You want me. You waited on your honey. You didn't feel your body. You want me. Lay it all on me. And everything else is kind of ideas past that. Yeah, no biting in chat. Come on, y'all. I just met you. Appreciate the enthusiasm, though. Yes. Big dubstep person here. I love me some dubstep. So, where things are with this project was a lot of throwing things at the wall, seeing what sticks. And last night I spent a lot of time kind of editing things down, trimming the fat. And I kind of mentioned in my last stream, I like to write drunk, edit sober, metaphorically, not literally. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for calling it dope. And that being said, when writing with creative abandon, everything gets crazy. I have so many unnamed channels. So I'm going to start by organizing the project, naming some stuff. Thank you, Case. Hey, I mean, I love it. I would much rather have everyone riled up than everyone just kind of coming in and then being super, like, I don't know, like asleep or whatever. Thanks so much for the support, everyone. Yeah. Case and I go a ways back and hoping to do some, stuff with them in the future. Like we did talk about maybe doing like collab stream, just talking music. I know Case has been interested in learning more about music production. And I am also a DJ, so like, obviously there's a clear opportunity to do some stuff together. So stay tuned. As for me, I'm just kind of started up doing streaming. This is my second stream of the year, at least. A great point. This is time for a self-plug. Yeah, so I'm not so used to promoting myself. Let me pull up my latest track that came out 2 weeks ago. If y'all are interested in seeing some behind the scenes of it, including a track breakdown, that was my last stream. I don't know if the VOD's still up on Twitch, but it is on YouTube. I'll play a clip of it so y'all get to hear it. Also, if you can afford it, don't use Spotify. Title's okay. I'll kind of skip forward a bit. Yeah, self-promo. Thanks, Case. Can't play the whole thing. I mean, gotta get my stream numbers up, y'all. Go stream it. I'll play a little more. Cheers. Good question on the link. Let me check. I know I have some promo for it, but I don't remember the address. I'll put it in chat. Give me 1 sec. Again, new to the self-promo game. Oh, let's see if we can get some cat cam action. Oh, she just ran out of the room. Never mind. She'll be back. All right, get into the link.
Listen.
Thanks so much for the support, everyone. I just threw a link in the chat. It's got regular social links and stuff, but there should be a direct link under there for streaming. Take you to the preferred streaming service under the stream surrender button. Yeah, I've got a catalog of other stuff as well. New to streaming, but not new to the music production game. I've been making music for a long time, but making good music for a lot less, in my opinion. But cheers. Thanks so much for the feedback, everyone. Definitely, definitely. Thanks, y'all. Really appreciate it. I'm trying to keep the goal of doing this every other week, whether it be music production, as we're about to jump into, or DJing. I've been a DJ for a bit as well. And also doing like hardware related streams, sound design stuff. I'm also a modular freak. So I've done a modular stream a bit ago, but would love to do that again. And for hardware stuff, I think it'd be a pretty cool idea to record everything as I always do and throw up the link after if people want to try and download it, sample it, whatever. Yeah, so expect more every other week. Probably going to be online here for another hour or so, making more music. Yeah, I appreciate that, October. Yeah, this is kind of one of the goals I wanted to do, was not only try and get more visibility, but also just to kind of have streaming be like a diary of my creative process. Like the stream I did 2 weeks ago for doing a breakdown of that track, I kind of treated it like that. So not only did I just do a technical breakdown, I walked through some of the earliest bounces of the track and kind of walked you through my process, what I was thinking through it, what the inspiration was for it, some of the difficulties I encountered writing. Yeah, exactly. My evolution. So, yeah. And as I was kind of yapping at the beginning of the stream, today was like, yeah, I want to do this to also try and funnel my creative efforts to be more productive, because I feel like that when I'm writing with an audience or like producing with a friend or doing a collaboration, I feel a lot more productive because I'm like, more focused towards like working on broad strokes and the most important things instead of getting in my head about nitty gritty stuff that, doesn't super matter at the end of the day. Well, thanks so much. I appreciate that, everyone. I appreciate it. Well, that being said, I'll be watching chat. So feel free to throw in questions or whatever. Yeah, happy to answer them. But yeah, so I'm going to start organizing this project. And yeah, it'll be a little bit boring at first, but I'll try and keep it interesting to kind of tell you, break down some of the parts of this work in progress I've got so far, and go from there. I have some ideas written down of things that I want to work on with this track. But starting first by going in this logical, non-creative thing of organizing because it helps be a lot more efficient when everything's kind of labeled. So how I do that is kind of going through each part, soloing it, renaming the channel, all that jazz. I don't know what this is, so I'm going to say, this is guitar. Oh, here, maybe we get a cat cam. Let me make the camera bigger. Where did she go? Oh, she is down here. This is my cat Peach. Sorry, it's going to be blurry. Hello, Peach. Everyone say hi, Peach. Oh, you're already on it, of course. Unfortunately, she's not much of a lap cat, so she's not really going to be super visible, but for my DJ streams that I've done in the past, I usually try and get a camera set up so you can view her. She'll be hanging out in the background. She's so used to loud noises. Word. Okay. Let's see. I can just delete this channel. Nothing's going on here. I'm just going to call this ambient thing. Is there anything on this channel? Nope. Delete it. This is a music box. So I've been kind of experimenting with a couple different natural instruments here in this track. And yes, Peach is a big inspiration. Certainly. I would not be doing this if it weren't for Peach. She's a lot of support. And this was actually, let's say, reverse ambience. Something I've been trying out with this track and another track I've been working on was kind of having, instead of like one constant element playing along consistently, having a couple others come in and out. So with all of these elements together, it makes this. These are unused. This is aptly named as a pad. So I'm going to make a new group and call this chords. This is a group where we have some stuff later on coming. Oh, nice. Second spam message. Hell yeah. I've made it, guys. I've made it. Move this into chords. And obviously we have to color code everything because if the music, your project file doesn't look cool, then you don't feel cool. Okay, I'm gonna move this up. I'm gonna say second drop. Word. These are organized here. This is called leads. I'm actually gonna put this in a separate group called vocals. And I've got several things that are not on right now. What is this? So this is super solid. What is this? Super solid 2, group these together. A technique that I like to do is if I want a variation of a sound, I'll usually just duplicate the sound. Oh, I'm so silly. I've got the camera big. Y'all can't see what I'm doing. There we go. So, this is a muted version of some other stuff. This is... These are also vocals, so I'm going to move them in the vocal group. Okay. These guys are not being used. Color code. Nice. And the aptly named bloops. Okay, so now we'll get into the interesting thing, the basses. So I start with my tracks. I've actually been recently starting using with samples as kind of placeholders. Forgive the duck quack. And so while there's some really cool sounds in here, I can't take credit for all of them. Like, for example, the growls are really sick, but this is just a sample from Silas. Shout out Silas. Join their Patreon. You can get cool sounds like this. Very sick. That will be processed and eventually replaced. But for now, I'm keeping it as a placeholder for like, oh, I want the idea of a sustain, like a dynamic sound coming in on this part. And I think, yeah, this is a guitar, a reversed guitar sound. So I'm actually going to move that into this group I'm calling chops, because it kind of fleshes out that chop nature. It is not a bass. And main bass. So this is kind of where I've been putting in some work for the sound design, and things are a little messy here. And there's several layers as well. So I'm actually going to pull these out. Call this pluck, because this sound is just kind of a pluck that is meant to kind of fill out some empty space and add like a rhythm. So if I play with a metronome, kind of add some wonkiness. And this is another really cool sample, but I can't take credit for the sound from Skybreak. Shout out Skybreak. Join the Patreon, get cool samples like this. I'll just call this Bark. So the main bass, this is several different items. A layered sample that I processed. And a bunch of other sound design, which is like vocoding the guitar sound from the intro against some other samples. So this is the sound. So it is now. But if I turn off the processing that I've added, it sounds like this. It's completely different. So the vocoding from the guitar sound from the intro here, I'm going to turn it down because it's probably loud. So I've distorted that, and it's being vocoded with this original sound. So that kind of imparts the melodic nature onto this sound. It's a cool way to kind of transform an intro melodic idea and turn it into something more sound designy and bass focused. So there's several things going on here. There's two different versions that I have running in parallel, and I think this is just another layer, just like a womp 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 sound. And depending on where I get, I might do some work here because there's not a sub. It needs a sub. The mix is not great so far, but anyways, back to organizing things. I'll just call this noisy stab. This is guitar side chain. I'm calling it Leatrix because I think most of these samples are from Patreons. This is a Leatrix Patreon sample. This is a Noisia Patreon sample. Go support your people. If you're trying to like support artists, and like obviously there's going to shows and merch and stuff, but Patreon is really, really cool, especially if you're into music production, you want to see some BTS, or you want to learn stuff and get some cool samples. Go look up some of your favorite artists on Patreon, because chances are they probably have one, like Noisia. Obviously they're not together anymore, but they still have a Patreon where they themselves don't really make much content for it, but they run it kind of as their label vision. So a lot of the people on their label, they have kind of rotate people coming in. Whoever has the most recent release will do a video on the release and like samples or whatever. But like a lot of my favorite artists are on Patreon, so it's super cool. If you have the money, you want to support people, and you want to learn, it's like win-win for sure. Cool. I'm gonna make this purple. And there are a bunch of glitches here. And this is the same deal as well, where I vocoded the same guitar thing, but against some glitch sounds. So the glitches by themselves, which are cool, but vocoded. Love that. That is a key part of the song. And this is something in the second drop. This is definitely a placeholder sound that I want to replace. Cool. I think that covers organizing the basses. So drums. This is probably where I have the most mess right now. I've been oscillating between what sort of sounds I want the drums to be, specifically the snare. And let me A be something, and I want people's thoughts if they have a preference on one versus the other. So I'll just call the first one A. So I'll play it. It should be the same thing you heard. So just the snare. This is choice 1, choice A. And choice B. Would you prefer this one or this one? So if I were to solo the drums, actually the difference is not too big, but if I were just to listen to the drums, this is A, this is B, A. I don't know, Case, are we doing the eye doctor thing? Can I see A? Can I see B? Can I see A again? So, specifically, A, B, A, B. Mixed results. Mostly A. I think I'm gonna have to agree with y'all. And that, yeah, I'll play it again in context. Sure. And the difference may not be super apparent because I don't have any side chaining set up, so the mix isn't super clean. All right, I'll just play this second bar. A. Sorry, A. B. Any difference in opinion in context? Word. Okay. You know what? See, I'm already getting some value out of streaming and getting people's input, because my girlfriend knows this. I was up late last night in the zone working on this track and like going crazy, going back and forth between these and trying different mixtures. And so it's super helpful for people to be like, oh, you know what, this one's better. And so I can just comfortably, all right, okay, we're done. This is the choice for this track. I'm gonna keep B around because I can bounce that out and use it in another track. But appreciate it. Appreciate the input. It is super helpful. Cool. So going back to organizing things, things are not really where they should be. And I have a project template that I normally work with that is not here. So just go one, start at the top and go down. This track has nothing on it. Don't need it. What is this track? A super distorted hey. I'm gonna move that to the sound effects group. Oh yes, Court. It does need glorpy bass lines. And so I'll work, once I'm done organizing, which should only be a couple more minutes, I'll do some sound design. Yeah, I like the glorpy stuff. I like sound design that sounds like natural and wet. These are all cool percussion. Although I would consider this is more of a bass because it has a lot of low frequency energy. Gonna move it up there. Call that rim. This is glitch. Yeah, thanks, Case. Appreciate it. Let's definitely do something in the future. I'd love to talk music production, all that jazz. And also we'll have to try and get Aki as well. Oh no, it's okay. I've got my plug. Zaps. If you're making dubstep, you gotta have glitches and zaps because all the shine and gloss comes from little fun moments like that. So these guys, I'm going to move into the percussion group. Ride is a percussion as well. Kick is not a snare. Kick is a kick. And I have several layers of the snare. So the snare that everyone liked was a couple different layers. I think what is doing a lot of the heavy lifting is the sample. Really fat snare. And then this one is like some extra sparkly stuff to fill in the background. So together. And then like a fun sort of Foley lead up to those to kind of have like build anticipation for it. So that I love that. So yeah, we're going to clean this up. Exactly. Adding glitter. So I normally work in MIDI when it comes to building sounds. And I don't think I'm going to get that set up today because it's going to take a second. But for the sake of today, I'm just going to delete some of the silence and then duplicate that out. Just because I like when things are compressed like that and zoomed out, you can tell, all right, there's something happening here as opposed to it happening everywhere. So copy pasting around. We'll call this pre-snare. Call this clap. This is snare. And then this is kind of a fill snare. All right, I'll probably set up sidechain at a later date because that is sort of its own process. And I believe I have an intro clap, which goes into the snare group. This channel's not being used. Delete. And I'm just going to move the old clap out and over here. I'd like to have kind of a group at the bottom where it's just called to use, where I throw in stuff that's like, oh, this might work on the project, but I want it out of the way. Okay. So now I'm going to color code some stuff. I know this is really exciting. We're just organizing things, but you know, you gotta put in the work. Otherwise, things can get lost. Okay. And here's the kick pattern. Going to combine these clips. Thank you. Yeah, the color grouping is super critical for me. I kind of have come up with my own approach to that over the years. Everyone kind of has their own thing. I know I really like Virtual Riot's, his sort of color grouping. So again, he's got a Patreon. He also has some YouTube stuff, so you don't have to be paid. I definitely recommend checking out his stuff and his music if you're not already familiar. Amazing producer, wealth of knowledge. And I think he's also doing some classes and things as well that you can kind of sign up for and pay for and like, you know, have access to getting feedback from him, all that stuff. Something I've thought about participating to kind of have like a structured sort of thing. Like, hey, I want to get better at this specific thing. What do you suggest? As opposed to me being just completely self-guided. And I'm completely self-taught as well. So I'm used to the DIY, teach yourself. And I'm just recently turned 30. So I taught myself and learned everything from when things were still kind of the Wild West in terms of tutorials and stuff. Nowadays, it's amazing. There's a lot of content out there that is really educational. Yeah, exactly the extra personalized feedback for sure. Because it's like, oh, I want to learn. Like, I'm at the point where I know kind of how to healthily work on music and have fun, but I'm at the point where like, okay, I want to have more output. I want to build up my portfolio more. But yeah. Oh yeah. So what I was saying about the content that's out there, it's amazing. There's a lot. However, there's like too much. And if I could see if you're kind of a beginner to doing music production, it's really hard to kind of filter out the stuff that is just like, you know, scams, bad advice, and just not helpful. That's not always like the fault of the person who's making that content. It's just kind of like a problem with education, I think. So because I think so many things, so many tutorials and things I've watched, and especially regarding sound design, they're always kind of super hyper focused on like, hey, here's how you make this sound exactly, and here's all the positions of the knobs that you need to put to make that sound. But they never say, why are they that position? Why does do you need distortion here? Why does this, like, what do these things do? It's always like, here's a explanation of like the instructions to get here, but not why. Because at the end of the day, if you watch the tutorial, all you learn is how to make that one specific sound. You don't necessarily learn how do you use all of the sound design techniques used in that video to make similar sounds or apply in other situations. So yeah, long story short, I think there's so much content out there, and exactly, it's definitely overwhelming. Yeah. So, and that's kind of why when I'm talking about stuff, I try to go a little bit past the surface of sound design stuff. And I haven't really done anything super deep on here, but if you weren't interested in that on my YouTube from several years ago, I do have like a 20-minute deep dive into like one sound that I made that does trying to get into like, yes, here's how I made it, but here's all the techniques I used to make it and how you can make similar sounds with this, and not just here's how you make this one sound. Yeah. Anyways, I've been talking a lot. Okay, so let me see. I'm gonna pull up my notes from someone who's like very like task list and like check off list brained. I basically have like a list of things I want to do for each song. So it's kind of like a helpful reference, so that way I could refresh myself. If I open a project, I can see, all right, this is what past me thought to do. And it also is helpful, yeah, to refresh myself and have this sort of living document of things to do. And yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. And like, I guess if anyone else in here ever has a question, this is like, I love music and I can talk about music and making music and sound design and mixing like forever. So I'm like so happy to yap about it. Okay, so let's see. A couple of these things I'm going to skip for now. And yeah, yappers. I think what I'm going to do is focus in on that main bass and try and add an interesting layer to it and tighten it up. I have a lot of ideas and things out here. I'm going to start there and then maybe try and create some variation that I can then use later on. So, yeah. But first, I need to take a quick bio break. I'll be right back. I'll let the rest of my recently released track. Actually, I'll just play something else. One of these two tracks. I'll be right back. Enjoy. Oh, nice. Of course, as soon as I took my AirPods out, it paused. Yeah, yeah, you called it. Like, I gotta let it play out. I can't just play a couple seconds of it. I also just realized I said, I gotta take a quick bio break as if I'm working and talking to a coworker. Spindrift. Best seltzer, fight me. Go stream it. Thanks for letting me get a little more self-promo in, even though it was supposed to be a P song. Word. Okay. We're gonna do some sound design, and I think what I want to start with is actually just making a sub for this main page. Yeah, thank you. Of course, happy to share. So I guess if not everyone here is super familiar with music production, or like, I guess all the building blocks for electronic music, the sub is basically just the bass. It's the bass, like the low end frequency that makes up a sound. And right now, this track doesn't have a sub. And a sub can be a separate thing, like it's layered in, or it could be part of the sound. Right now, there's not a low end stuff going on. So if I were just to play this bass. Oh, sorry, I've got to switch Ableton. You know, when I take off my AirPods, it also disconnects from Ableton. Here we go. So there's some sub, but sub is red, the really low frequency stuff. But what I'm going to do is kind of make something from scratch. And as soon as I start getting this set up, you'll kind of immediately know what I mean by sub. And depending on what you're listening on, it may or may not come through super well. Okay, so just made a simple sub using a sine wave, simple as can be. Very low. But I like to add some distortion. So first, before I start jumping into that, I kind of want to get an idea for how long the sound should play. Yeah, I mean, sine waves, okay. I know Case probably knows this as well, but very cool fact. Literally, or not literally, but almost any sound could be made just out of making sine waves at different frequencies and summing them all together. You can recreate almost any sound. And that fact is so freaking cool. And that's why I love sine waves. And they're the purest sound. Pitch it down really low, and you got a sub. So it's quite poetic. A lot of my sound design often just starts with sine waves and then distorting it, adding more sine waves. Yeah, frequencies, man. Okay, So I think what I'm going to do is make these notes a little bit longer because I want the sound to kind of ring out a little bit more. And I'm going to add some release because there's a little bit of click at the end of the note if you don't have some release. And a special trick that I like to do is add another sub, again, using sine waves to make a new sound, and play the third harmonic. Because it adds some more thickness, helps kind of it cut through systems like phone speakers or whatever. You hear that more high-end content. Okay, so I'm just gonna solo the bass with the rest of the sound to kind of get an idea of how it follows. And this is what I was thinking of last night. Of right now, these things are kind of pretty static on off, but there's a lot of things I can do to try and add some variation. So adding attack so it fades in a little bit. And another approach would be to change the pitch over time. So that way it stabs and cuts through a little bit. So I'm going to make this shape, which I can then use to modulate the frequency of the sound. And I'll just start really big. So it adds that punch to the beginning of it. I'll add it to this third harmonic as well. Okay, so we'll listen to that. I'm going to turn down this sound so the sub is more prominent and I can kind of hear it in context. And I'm going to play it with drums so I can kind of hear it. I'm going to turn that off. That sounds pretty good. I'm going to add in some distortion. Not that much. We'll start with that. Okay, so there's a second layer that is a little quiet that I want to be more prominent. And I actually don't want it to follow the original rhythm, so I might just replace the MIDI. Yeah, we're gonna do that. And we're gonna make this sound a little bit more interesting. So I want this sound to be a little bit stereo to kind of fill out the outer edges. And this is something I threw together really quickly. But what is it about it that I don't like? I can change the time so that way it moves faster or slower. I think I really just want to distort the heck out of this. A new plugin that I've been using, which is like something that is an effect made by another company outside of Ableton. It's called Cataclysm. It's very cool. So what I normally do, if I don't really know what sort of sound I want to make it, but I know the style of sound, I'll find a plugin that makes that sound and flip through presets for it. So we'll do that. I'm not getting what I want out of it. I think it needs to have lower. Yeah. And then adding some distortion should bring out some interesting harmonics. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna try using overdrive, maybe really loud. What is missing here? We'll try a couple more presets. You know, at the end of the day, sometimes you just want to use the basic thing, which is saturator. What if I detune this oscillator a little bit? And what if I have modulate a filter so that way it kind of opens up things? Literally making some bubs. Oh, chord. This is kind of a glorpy sound. But then that leads me to want to remove the pitch change and introduce an attack. And you're new to production, ODT, Ableton multiband preset, amazing. What if we do some weird EQ shenanigans? All right, I want this to be wide. I love using grain delay for that. I remove the distortion. All right. So let's hear things in context with the main body of the sound gone, but with the layers we've been working on added in. It definitely has the goop. In like a non-derogatory way, good goop. We like the goop. This is a plugin that I like to use. Whoa, it's quite zoomed in. To kind of put a sound in a space. So let's play around with some of the impulse responses. All right, these aren't different enough, so we'll go here. This one's actually kind of cool. I definitely need some sort of release. Here we go. Well, get up chords. What about glitches? What do we got? That's kind of cool. What if I put the OTT on after to kind of bring it up? It's a bit much. Let's see, what am I missing here? What do I want to be here? Why don't we YOLO this cool effect, which is like a resonator. And let's put in the key of the track. And I want my grain delay back on. Okay, that's cool. Let's EQ. Remove the low end. Ooh, I have an idea. This is another resonator. I've just been loving using resonators. So I'm going to take the MIDI. Hey, that's cool. And let's mess around. And add a bunch of effects. My secret sauce. Oh my gosh. All the plugins that opened up. This is like a really long plugin chain that I've made to kind of like fatten up a sound. Okay. And we add another OTT to bring some more sound out. I don't like this sound. Okay, that's gonna have to be good for now. Let's mix in the original sound. Okay, I want some distortion to come back. So there's a lot of low end here that I don't want. A lot of producing bass music is just high passing things to remove low end you don't want. So that adds a lot more room for the sub to breathe. What about the sound? Yeah, I'm not really liking that layer, so I'm just gonna turn it off for now. Cool. Oh yeah, and let's layer it back in with this sound, which is more stabby. Do I want it to stab and like punch through, or do I want it to kind of fade in? Let's find out. I'll remove the bass. Clear. Okay, I think that's good enough on that sound. I'm gonna hold myself from really staying hyper focused on one thing. Cool. So I can check this list off. I'm gonna try adding one more sound. What I feel like is missing is some cool harmonics. So you know what? Maybe I'll be able to find a sound. I'll go look through some cool samples that I've recorded over the years and try and find something that might work. All right, where do I want to look? I want to look here. We have... Actually, I think I know exactly where I want to look. If I remember the name of the folder that I put this info in. Oh. You know what? I always use these Odessa samples because they're great. Let's do it. All right, so the thing is when you're using samples, you have to tune it. As you can see, I did not label what key, what note is being played here. So I'll load up my handy dandy tuner. And I have to pitch it up a couple octaves because it's really low. So if I just play a C, it looks like it is playing a D, so that means I have to pitch it down 2 notes. So when I do play a C, it says it's a C. There we go. Okay. And so what do we got when we layer this back in with everything but the melodic stuff? So I didn't know I want to filter this. So start the filter down low so it kind of opens up the sound. Start really low, like you can hear it now. Yeah. Okay, it's still really quiet, so I'll boost it. I want to remove the low end. Sorry for that. There's so much repetition going on in terms of playing the same thing over and over again, but for better or for worse, that's just kind of how it is with dubstep. OTT. Gonna load up my fat rec. Fatten the sound a bit. There's some clicking. Where is the clicking coming from? Okay, that's good enough. All right, I'll leave that be. I'm gonna check my notes for something else to focus on. Okay. At the very least, I know I want to add some hi-hats. So let's listen to things in context. So play a couple bars before the drop and play the drop so we can kind of hear how things sit now. You know you want it for your body. You know you want me. Lay it all on me. Cool. I'm pretty happy with that. One last thing that I'm going to work on before wrapping up for today, because I just realized I've been streaming for a little bit over an hour, was adding some hi-hats, because right now we just kind of have like a heavy ride / splash going. And I wanted to play around with adding some hi-hats. So what I'm going to do is first raid my loops to see what interesting loops I might have. If there's anything out of the box that is actually pretty cool and useful. That's kind of cool. That's cool too. YOLO. Well, let's just see what happens. What sounds cool. How does it sound in context? This one's a different tempo, so we have to warp it to that tempo. Ooh, this is cool. I'm gonna actually make another channel for the 2Us. Yeah. Colors. Color coordination is super helpful. Okay, I kind of like this one. I feel like I've used this before, but it is a good loop. Again, VR, Virtual Riot, the GOAT. Pitch down. Yeah, I like that. Let's tighten it up a little bit. Okay, that sounds good. So what I like to do with hi-hats is usually add them in like the second of the 8 bars. So there's some progression. Cool, that sounds good. All right. I want to try and find one more quick fun thing to do before wrapping things up for tonight. Oh, my cat's going crazy right now. It's Zoomies time. We try and get her on camera, but she's out of the room right now. Let's see. If I look under samples, is there anything really cool?
Back the fuck up.
I wonder why I saved that. There's a lot of... Okay. All right. Time for content. Engage. Get ready for some memeage. There's this absolutely unhinged sample pack, which is a bunch of like hardstyle and hardcore vocal samples. I don't remember exactly where it came from, but I feel like I found it on Reddit, and hopefully I can actually find what I'm referencing. But it's got some absolutely out of pocket sounds in it. Where is it? Here we go. Thunderdome Gabber Pack. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find the thing that I was specifically wanted to show. So hopefully there's not gonna be anything like super crazy, but I'll just play some things that are absolutely crazy. I'm not gonna use it in the song, but I figured it'd be fun to share.
TNT don't fuck around. Bend over and
I am the fat piss.
old school, bring down the bass.
I mean, that one's actually kind of cool.
Check this out.
Man, what you gonna do now? What we're gonna do right here is go.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
Coming through your fucking speaker.
Drugstore?
Do you love your hardcore?
From the big bad city.
Give me a motherfucking breakbeat. Hardcore motherfucker.
Have you ever fucked on cocaine?
I want to feel the motherfucking music.
Woo! Crispy.
You don't know what you're dealing with.
All right, that one's actually really hard. I know I've wanted to use that one before. All right, let's do one more listen through. And if I can't think of any other quick fixes or things I wanted to change, I think I'll probably wrap up for the night.
You know you want me. You know you waited on your honey. You know you waited for your body. You know you want me. Lay it all on me.
Yeah, I think that kind of does it. I'm kind of at the point where I don't really know what else to do other than try and start working on the second drop or a variation. Like I'm at the point where I'm not sure if I want to do another 16 bars. I actually have some ideas sketched out that I won't play because they're very rough. But I will play the breakdown that I started working on because it has like a slight shift in tone that I actually quite like.
You know you want me.
And again, the vocal's very repetitive and happening over and over again. I plan to edit it, pitch it up and down, add some more cool stuff, probably layered in.
You know you waited for your body.
So things get a little bit darker.
I know you want me. Lay it all on me.
And from there, not really sure what to do, but that is for another day. So, yeah, I think that kind of does it for tonight. I went for an hour and a half. I feel like that's good enough without getting a little too tired of this track. Yeah. Again, thanks, Case, for the raid. Really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. It's great to see a lot of new faces. Thanks for coming and checking me out. Listen to me producing music, hearing my stuff. And yeah, so I don't have a strict plan as for what I'm going to do 2 weeks from now, my next stream, but it might be DJing. It might be working on another track. It might be, an IRL type thing with a camera, working on some modular stuff, recording. But yeah, I guess keep a look at my socials. I'll kind of announce things a couple days before. Yeah. So thanks again. Go stream my music. Shout out again to Case. Appreciate it a lot. Yeah. And thanks for tuning in, everyone. Have a great evening. And yeah, that's it.